Some of these films are great films. You look at the first two Godfathers, you look at the films by Scorsese.
The kid doesn't look like a gangster yet. He has to look, his shoes are gonna be shined.
America's always been infatuated with gangster films.
It's great fun to play a guy who could say, you know, come here, go there, do this. If you don't, I'll do this to you. I mean, it's great. You got, you know, it's all in the script, and you're playing a complicated guy who after he does that, it's like leave the gun, grab the cannolis.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
My grandfather was from Sicily, red-haired Sicilian, from Ragusa, and he came to the United States, as did my grandmother, who I didn't know.
My grandfather was from a place called Rocca Monfina, which is a little bit north of Naples, and my grandmother's family was from Caserta, which is almost right directly above Naples.
My grandfather came here exactly 100 years ago, 1905. He was a stonemason. When he came home from work, he'd put the hammer and chisel on the table, and either they'd turn on the radio on station WOV with the Italian music, or he would start singing, and I enjoyed that. Explain it to them what that song is about. Tell them what's about.
You're by the sea.
Yeah.
You're by the sea and you're making love.
Oh, Madonna mia, I'm not, you started again now. We're back at the bada bing all of a sudden. Oh, you're right.
Italians have time and again been essential storytellers. I mean, Capra, I think, is the key figure there.
You know, when I went to Italy the first time, I felt like the character in Portnoy's Complaint when he went to Israel. I was like, well, there's an Italian cab driver, there's an Italian doctor, there's an Italian politician, there's an Italian policeman, there's Italian, you know, concierge. They're all Italians.
My first trip to Italy, which I remember it all, of course, remember how it was cold in the shadow and warm in the sun. You know, it was beautiful. It was this hill town.
What about those of you who are not Italian American? Does it bother you to see your own ethnic group portrayed in a stereotypical way? You know, maybe the Italian doesn't bother you, but what about your own ethnic group?
Well, I'm Persian, and in that recent film Crash, it portrays us as like being a little bit fundamentally religious, and also stereotyped in a way that's not necessarily within our culture. So
how do you feel when you see that?
Well, I felt offended. You know, it bothered me, but you know, this is Hollywood, and pretty much they pretty much run the show.
I think it's more that it's entertaining. That's what entertains us. To, you know, to pick on other people, to make conflict. That's what we thrive. That's a society we love to see.
We so often see movies about Italians, and they're always yelling at each other and hugging each other and punching each other and, you know, fighting with each other. And my experience really growing up as an Italian American was there was a real stoicism.
And there is a second generation that rejects that past and tries to integrate completely. And then there is the third generation that looks back, that feels confident about being American and can look back and tell the story of their past.